For many, June represents the month of Pride, a time to celebrate, educate, and communicate all that is queer, gay, and fabulous. While today being gay isn't much of a big deal, back in the 50s it was a completely different story. Hollywood's golden age was known for its glamorous and picture-perfect facade, but behind closed doors, many of the biggest stars were living a secret life. What if we told you that some of your favorite screen legends were actually gay? Join us as we take a closer look at the top 15 gay closet cases of Hollywood's golden age that will shock you. Number 15. Spencer Tracy. Spencer Tracy left behind a career that spanned 4 decades, earning him not 1 or 2, but 9 Oscar nominations and 2 wins. But beneath the accolades, his personal life was a labyrinth of contradictions, shaped by his devout Catholic faith and the secrecy of his rumored bisexuality. Married to Louise Treadwell, Tracy never divorced despite their estrangement, citing religious reasons. Rumors hinted at relationships with starlets like Ingrid Bergman and Hedy Lamarr, but the most compelling speculation centered on a possible romance with actor John Derek. His long-term relationship with Katharine Hepburn, carefully managed by the studio, added further complexity. Writer Amy Fine Collins once reignited speculation about Tracy's sexuality in Vanity Fair, citing accounts from Hollywood insiders. Hepburn reportedly dismissed the claims, while Tracy's daughter called them absurd. Amid battles with depression and alcoholism, Tracy's performances transcended his personal struggles. Whether or not his sexuality was as fluid as rumored, there is no denying his legacy remains one of cinematic brilliance and emotional depth. Number 14. Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando wasn't just an acting genius. He was a man shrouded in mystery, with a personal life as dramatic as his legendary performances. Married 3 times, Brando's love life often made as many headlines as his films. Beyond his marriages, persistent rumors swirled about his bisexuality, fueled by alleged affairs with icons like James Dean, Carrie Grant, and comedian Richard Pryor. Brando didn't shy away from addressing speculation. In a 1976 interview, he candidly admitted to having homosexual experiences, boldly stating, "I am not ashamed." Quincy Jones later claimed Brando had relationships with Pryor and writer James Baldwin, sparking further intrigue. Pryor's widow confirmed the story, but his daughter denied it, making the truth as elusive as Brando's most complex roles. From alleged S&M dynamics with James Dean to whispers of romance with Baldwin, Brando's relationships blurred the lines between love, power, and intrigue. Whether truth or speculation, his personal life remains as captivating as his on-screen legacy. Number 13. James Dean. James Dean remains a symbol of rebellion, charisma, and tragedy. Despite starring in just 3 films, his untimely death at 24 immortalized him. Yet beyond the smoldering looks and leather jackets, Dean's personal life has been a puzzle that refuses to be solved. While romantically linked to women like Pier Angeli and Ursula Andress, Dean's relationships with men have fueled endless speculation. His roommate and close friend William Bast later admitted to a sexual relationship, calling it complex and intense. Dean himself cryptically remarked, "I'm not a homosexual, but I'm not going to live with one hand tied behind my back." The alleged S&M dynamic with Marlon Brando adds another layer to Dean's mystique. Some argue that these lovebird relationships were about power or career advancement. Others see them as genuine connections. Whether a calculated move or a genuine connection, one thing is pretty clear. James Dean remains Hollywood's eternal enigma, a rebel without a label. Now, let's move to number 12. Clark Gable. Clark Gable, Hollywood's original king, was known for his rugged charm and iconic roles, but his personal life told a more complicated story. Despite 5 marriages, rumors of same-sex relationships followed Gable throughout his career. One of the most notable involved actor William Haynes, a close friend of Joan Crawford. The speculation didn't stop there. During the filming of Gone with the Wind, Gable reportedly demanded the replacement of openly gay director George Cukor after hearing comments linking him to Haynes. This incident highlighted Gable's sensitivity to rumors about his sexuality, perhaps a result of his working-class background and the rigid masculinity Hollywood demanded. Despite his struggles with identity and relationships, Gable's talent and charisma were undeniable. His marriage to Carole Lombard, whom he called the love of his life, brought him moments of happiness before her tragic death. Gable's legacy remains one of contradictions, iconic on screen and deeply enigmatic off it. Number 11. Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson was Hollywood's quintessential leading man, chiseled, charming, and a box office magnet. Yet his off-screen life told a different story. Behind his image as a womanizer was a man struggling to reconcile his public persona with his private truth. Hudson's sexuality was an open secret in Hollywood, known to insiders but shielded from the adoring public. A 3-year marriage to Phyllis Gates was orchestrated to silence rumors, but Gates later claimed she'd been unaware of his orientation, a dubious assertion given Hollywood's tightly knit circles. Hudson's relationships with men were discreet but frequent, facilitated by trusted contacts who kept his personal life under wraps. In 1985, Hudson's AIDS diagnosis shattered taboos, putting a human face on a stigmatized disease and sparking global awareness. His enduring bond with Elizabeth Taylor, who later became a fierce advocate for AIDS research, remains a testament to his legacy. Hudson was more than a heartthrob. He was a man of quiet resilience in a world demanding conformity. Number 10. Montgomery Clift. Montgomery Clift, the brooding heartthrob of the 1950s, was a cinematic force, but his personal life remained deliberately veiled. Unlike many Hollywood peers, Clift resided in New York, far from prying eyes, fostering his reputation as a private yet intriguing figure. Rumors swirled about his sexuality, with close friend Debbie Reynolds recounting Clift's relationships with both men and women. His bond with Elizabeth Taylor, his frequent co-star, fueled whispers of romance, though their connection was deeper than labels. Reynolds once remarked, "Elizabeth could seduce any man, gay or straight," suggesting a complex intimacy between them. Clift's family archives, explored in Making Montgomery Clift, reveal a man far from the tortured soul Hollywood painted him to be. He lived modestly, rejecting lucrative studio contracts for creative independence. From daring flirtations on-screen in Red River to challenging societal norms off-screen, Clift defied convention. His legacy endures as one of talent, mystery, and quiet rebellion against Hollywood's constraints. All right, guys, now let's head over to the next one. Number 9. Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando. In 2018, Quincy Jones sent shockwaves through Hollywood by claiming Marlon Brando had an intimate relationship with comedian Richard Pryor. Jennifer Pryor, Richard's widow, confirmed the claim, citing Pryor's openness about his relationships with men and the hedonistic spirit of the 1970s. Jennifer added humor to the revelation, saying, "If you did enough cocaine, you'd fucked a radiator and send it flowers in the morning." Pryor's diaries, reportedly filled with accounts of his encounters, added weight to the story. Their alleged affair exemplified the uninhibited energy of the era, where drugs and fame blurred boundaries. Though Pryor was married multiple times and fathered 7 children, his life defied simple definitions. His openness about sexuality, unusual for his time, highlighted his raw honesty. Brando, equally notorious for his unrestrained lifestyle, remains an enigmatic figure whose relationships with men and women continue to intrigue. Together, their connection underscores Hollywood's complex, hidden stories. Number 8. Cesar Romero. Cesar Romero, the dashing Cuban-American actor, had it all: charm, wit, and a towering presence that made Hollywood swoon. He graced the silver screen alongside legends like Marlene Dietrich and Carole Lombard, but it was his unforgettable portrayal of the Joker in the 1966 Batman movie that cemented his place in pop culture. Romero was best friends with Joan Crawford and an open book among his Hollywood circle, but to the public, he kept his sexuality locked away. Back then, coming out was career suicide, and Romero wasn't about to let that happen. Despite living in a time of rigid norms, he managed to thrive, becoming a beloved figure both on and off screen. Known for his impeccable style and quick wit, Romero navigated the industry with grace, keeping his private life just that, private. While his Joker might have been a maniacal prankster, Romero himself was a class act, proving that some secrets don't need a punchline. Number 7. Tab Hunter. Tab Hunter was Hollywood's dreamboat, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed heartthrob who set teenage hearts racing in the 1950s. Cast as the quintessential soldier or leading lady's love interest, Hunter was known more for his looks than his acting chops. But beneath the polished image, he carried a heavy burden, a secret about his sexuality. Caught between casual homophobia and Hollywood's closeted circles, Hunter felt out of place in both worlds. His arrest at a gay party in 1950 threatened his budding career, but his agent deflected the spotlight onto Rock Hudson instead. Despite this, Hunter flourished, starring in hits and even maintaining a long-term relationship with fellow actor Anthony Perkins. In his memoir, Tab Hunter Confidential, he revealed his struggles with identity and the pressures of hiding his truth. For Hunter, being Hollywood's golden boy came at a price, but his courage in later years made him a trailblazer for authenticity. Number 6. Anthony Perkins. Anthony Perkins, immortalized as Norman Bates in Psycho, led a life of duality, balancing a successful career and a closely guarded personal life. While married to Barry Berenson and fathering 2 children, Perkins reportedly had relationships with men, including actor Tab Hunter. Hollywood during Perkins's era was unkind to gay actors, forcing many, including Perkins, to craft facades to protect their careers. Public appearances with starlets and arranged photo shoots were common tactics. Perkins's struggles with his identity are chronicled in Split Image, The Life of Anthony Perkins, revealing how secrecy dominates his relationships and choices. Perkins married Berenson in 1973, and while friends questioned its authenticity, their union seemed genuine. Despite skepticism, Perkins was a devoted husband and father. Diagnosed with AIDS in the late 1980s, he kept his illness private until his death in 1992. Perkins's story is one of ambition, secrecy, and the immense pressure of Hollywood's golden age. Number 5. Carrie Grant. Carrie Grant epitomized elegance and charm, captivating audiences as a suave leading man. But beyond the tuxedos and silver screen smiles lay a personal life that stirred endless speculation. His 12-year cohabitation with fellow actor Randolph Scott in the 1930s sparked rumors of a romantic relationship. The two shared a home nicknamed Bachelor Hall, where photographs captured their apparent closeness, raising eyebrows across Hollywood. Grant's sexuality became a topic of debate after a 1986 interview where he quipped, "Everyone says I'm gay and I guess I am, but I don't really know." Whether meant seriously or playfully, the comment added to his mystique. Despite 5 marriages, the shadow of his relationship with Scott lingered, even as both men pursued relationships with women. Grant's enduring charisma was matched only by his refusal to be pigeonholed. Whether his connection with Scott was romantic or platonic, Cary Grant remains a Hollywood icon, enigmatic, elegant, and forever fascinating. Now let's move to number 4, Raymond Burr. Raymond Burr, famous for his roles as Perry Mason and Robert Ironside, captivated audiences with his commanding presence on screen. Behind the scenes, however, Burr led a deeply private life, shaped by his long-term relationship with actor Robert Benavides. The pair met in 1960 during the production of Perry Mason and remained together until Burr died in 1993. While publicly referring to Benavides as his business partner, their connection extended far beyond professional boundaries. Together, they built a life, purchasing land and starting a vineyard in California's Sonoma County. Burr went to great lengths to shield his personal life from scrutiny, fabricating stories of tragic past marriages and even inventing a deceased son to maintain his public image. Despite societal pressures, Burr and Benavides shared a bond that defied conventions. Burr's carefully crafted narrative allowed him to thrive professionally, but his enduring partnership with Benavides tells a quieter story of love, resilience, and unwavering loyalty. Number 3. Ramon Novaro. Ramon Novaro was the original Latin lover of the silver screen, a rival to Rudolph Valentino, and a sensation in classics like Ben-Hur, 1925. But after MGM let him go in 1935, his career faded as quickly as it had risen. Privately, Novaro wrestled with his Roman Catholic upbringing and his sexuality, though he did have notable relationships, including one with journalist Herbert Howe. Tragically, his story took a dark turn in 1968 when brothers Paul and Tom Ferguson tortured and murdered him in his home after offering sex for money. The crime became sensationalized, overshadowing his legacy as an actor. Despite the grim headlines, Novaro's films remain timeless, showcasing his undeniable talent and charisma. While his life was marred by personal and societal struggles, Novaro's performances remind us of the golden age of Hollywood and its stars' complex, often hidden realities. Number 2. Robert Reed. Robert Reed, forever remembered as the wholesome Mike Brady on The Brady Bunch, lived a double life at a time when Hollywood left no room for authenticity. To his fans, he was the epitome of the all-American dad. But privately, Reed feared his sexuality becoming public knowledge. Casting director Joel Thurm later recounted memories of industry parties where Reed, like many others, kept his truth under wraps. In his memoir, Thurm described the 1970s Hollywood scene as a paradox, a haven for LGBTQ+ individuals behind closed doors, but a career risk in the spotlight. Reed's performances on screen masked his private struggles, making his story a poignant example of the sacrifices actors made to sustain their careers. While his sexuality remained unspoken during his life, Reed's legacy as a talented actor and complex individual continues to resonate with fans who cherish his work. Number 1. Greta Garbo. Greta Garbo, the Swedish actress once deemed the most beautiful woman in the world, was as mysterious off-screen as she was magnetic on it. Known for her privacy, Garbo's love life was an enigma, with historians piecing together whispers of her relationships with both men and women. Her most famous connection was a tempestuous love affair with writer Mercedes de Acosta, who often fled into the arms of Marlene Dietrich when Garbo pushed her away. There's also speculation that Garbo harbored deep affection for childhood friend Mimi Pollock, adding another layer to her enigmatic persona. Garbo's androgynous allure and refusal to conform to Hollywood norms made her an icon of queer identity, even if she never publicly embraced the label. Her legacy isn't just about her acting, but her ability to embody complexity and mystery, leaving fans intrigued long after she left the spotlight. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.